Hi guys, I'm Ruth Delgado and this is Ruth Delgado's Glamour page here. I decided to come back and kind of do a little combo video for you guys. So as you guys can see, I have straightened my curly, look. I had my hair curly after I decided to straighten her. I decided to also straighten me. So I can use a little touch up with my, having my hair nice and straight. And she can use a little style. So I decided, you know what, why not make a combo video right now of me styling her hair as well as flat ironing and styling my own hair. So that's what I'm going to be doing on this particular video today. And this is not going to be my only video. I have different videos that I would like to get done today. So those are just going to be 2 in 1 of my first video. So guys, how y'all doing? I hope you guys are great. I'm awesome. But yeah, I'm awesome. I've been really working and focusing and getting a lot of more things done that I've been kind of BSing on for a while. So I feel good that I'm not BSing anymore and I'm getting a lot more things done. That really makes me feel better. I really don't feel the way I really want to feel yet, but I feel like I'm definitely going to get there eventually. It's going to take a little more time and effort. So alright guys, so I'm going to start off. Give me a second. Okay, I'm going to start off with my own hair, and then I'm going to style up her hair, okay? So you guys are probably wondering, what did she go get the scissors for? Not my hair. No. Actually, yeah, no, not my hair. Not right now. But eventually, I am planning on cutting this hair, and maybe I'll cut it into a bob. A bob would be cute, and then I'm going to go back to the hair salon that I got the weave put in at and get a cut color and curl. But until then, I'm just gonna wear it straight. Actually, what I need to do is find my needle and thread, because I have a piece of weave that's trying to come out on the top, y'all. On the top, this weave drawing right now. So I need to find my weaving thread for my hair, and I need to use it, honey bunny. So I'm trying to think how I'm gonna do this, because as you guys can see, it's a weave, so my edges and everything is out and ready to play. But I'm trying to think, do I want to plug both of these in at once and do the spray, the smoothing balm, the brush, and then the flat iron? Just section it that way. I might have to do it that way because I can't really think of any other kind of way to do it where it's going to come out looking the way that I want it in a timely fashion. Because I'm hoping that this video is not like super duper long. It shouldn't be, but never know with me. You never know. Time just kind of gets away from you. Like it's on a run. No, I look at y'all like y'all did it. Y'all did do it. Say, let me stop. Oh my goodness. Will you stop falling already? Didn't even plug you in yet and you're already falling. Cut it out. This is what happens when you have these super short cords and then you don't have that much counter space or table space and you're really still trying to maneuver regardless. Story of my life. Okay. I'm looking at my booty. Don't be looking at my booty. Okay. So, I'll brush that a little bit. Guys, so one of the reasons why I've said that I've been like really on myself when it comes to like basically everything that I'm doing, but as well as everything that I'm doing when it comes to like business, is because, as you guys can see, I've been consistently working on keeping my body together, staying up on my workouts, staying up on my health, staying up on taking care of myself as best as possible. Also, staying on myself when it comes to like keeping these videos coming and working on like keeping them, you know, fresh and kind of new and like, you know, have you guys have an idea of what you're looking at but not really know what you're gonna get until you get it. And then be like, oh, okay, that was pretty cool. You know, that was good information. That was something I didn't know. Whatever. Or something I wasn't thinking about before, but now I'm thinking about it and I think, oh, that was a good thing to talk about. It really made me think about something that was necessary for me to have on my mind as opposed to the foolishness that we probably shouldn't have on our mind on a regular basis because it really doesn't provide any kind of beneficial growth or maturity. Because it like, honestly, I'm starting to recognize the way that you can really find out if something like is really what you're supposed to pay attention to. Does it help you grow? Does it help you mature? Does it help you become better than you were before? If it doesn't help you grow or mature or become better than you were before, it's not good for you. And it's not worth your time, your energy, your space, your head space, your mind space, your heart space. None of that. I'm like I said, I'm still learning. Like, you know, I'm a human being. You know, it's a process. You know, it's like Nipsey Hussle, God bless his heart, and God bless his family. He said it best. He said it's a marathon. You know, it's not a race. And I feel like there's a lot of people that live their life like life is a race. Like, oh, I can't wait to this and I can't wait to that. And I'm not even going front like I wasn't on that same type vibe at a point. I was, because that's what everybody was taught. So I was taught the same thing. But I had to recognize that what I was taught was wrong. And the people that taught me that wrong was not wrong. They just didn't recognize how wrong they were, so they taught it to me because that's all that they knew. You know, but what's this, the saying that say you know better, you do better. So I guess I finally decided to say, okay, well, I know better now, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the best that I can to do better because, yeah. When you don't know better and do better, it's weird. You might as well just, you know better and do better. And that's what my motto is overall. I'm trying to do the best that I can to know better and to do better. And make myself as well as my future people that's gonna love me tremendously and care for me tremendously and like really look out for me and have my back. No question. You know, no question whether they really support me because they're doing everything to let me know that they support me without argument, without fights. You guys ever notice how some people will sit there and tell you, oh, I want to see you successful. I want to see your growth. I'm so proud of you. I want to see you grow and become better. But then you never hear from them again. Or you ever had somebody tell you stuff like that, and then whenever you try to like hold them to what they said they want to do with you or for you, then they give you argument or they give you reason why they can't do it now. Y'all pay attention to people like that. They liars. They are. They liars because, you know, people that really want to see you do better and get better, they're not just going to say it. They're going to show it. They're going to prove it. Without you asking them to show and prove. They're going to just show and prove because they know that that's the best way to actually be convincing of, to convince a person that you are serious. It's to show and prove. And it's not hard to show and prove if you're not just trying to convince them for a short period of time. If you're actually convincing them for life that this is really how you are, and this is not like, oh, I'm changing for a moment and then I'm going to flip back when you least expect and not even warn you. No, not that type of situation. It's the show and prove is the type of situation where you know this is your personality, this is how you are, this is really who you are. And you showing and proving to this person like, yo, this is really me. Like, I'm not playing, I'm not putting on no front, like none of that. Like, I know you might have had people in your life that has treated you that way, but it's really unfair and it's not right for people to have people treat them that way in their life and then them to turn around and start treating everybody else like they like that. It's not fair. It really isn't. And I'm going to share with you guys a story, short story time. And I'm going to come at myself a little bit in this short story time because I have to admit that I did recognize something about myself when I was talking to this friend of mine. I have a friend of mine who I actually met dancing. I'm not going to disclose her name because that's still my friend. And I do not believe in like trying to, blast anybody that's a friend or anything like that. I don't really believe in blasting anybody, but it's definitely not somebody that you look at as a friend. And I look at her as a friend, so I'm going to name her Red. Red, I met dancing. We both danced at the same club at a point. And we kind of hit it off right away. And a few times went out on our own, like outside of the club. And, had fun a few times, went out to like a bar, club, and just hung out, had fun, danced, drunk a little, stuff like that. And she caught up with me years later and reached out to me and said, hey, and we started talking again. And she kind of like told me how things have turned out a lot better for her in her life. She's not dancing anymore. She has children. She's like really married to somebody that's really a huge deal, So when I heard all of that, I said, well, you know what? I need to talk to you. Like, I really need to get some advice from you because clearly you figured something out that I'm trying to figure out. So could you help me out to really like maneuver a lot better in my life, find people that are a lot more like how I'm transforming myself to be in the future, as opposed to more people that's like the lifestyle that I'm coming from. And so she said, yeah, I have no problem with helping you. And it was a problem at first because, like I said, she's really busy, married, with children, all this stuff. So it's just like, I wasn't even surprised when it was a hard time trying to connect with her. But when we finally connected and she finally called me, at first the conversation was cool. It was okay. Like, everything was alright. But then things just kind of took a left turn. Where I have this thing, and I'm still trying to take regard and make sure that I'm accurate on how I'm dealing with it. But I have this thing where when I'm talking to people, sometimes if I don't get my thoughts and my words out as soon as possible, I'll forget what I'm going to say. And I don't like to do that because I feel like when that happens, like I really, by default, kind of shut myself down when it comes to communication. Because when I forget that, sometimes it might not come back to me while I'm still around the person. So a lot of times, because I know that to happen a lot with me, what I'll do is I will interrupt a person in the middle of them speaking and mention something really quickly so that I can be able to get off my mind what's there, as opposed to it kind of like running away from me when I'm trying to hold on to it while I'm listening to the person talk. So, because I know I had that issue when we were talking to each other, there were a couple of times that I had to chime in and I had to interrupt and, speak my mind or speak my piece, because just like me and just like a lot of other people of today's society, because we don't get the opportunity to really talk very much to people, when we finally do talk, we kind of over talk. We kind of like repeat ourselves. We kind of like have like certain habits that aren't the best all the time when it comes to talking, because a lot of times us people, we barely even talk to anybody on a day-to-day basis unless we purposefully make it a point to do so. Other than that, a lot of people just don't talk. So when you don't talk for a long time and then you finally talking to people, you kind of end up having kind of like a diarrhea of the mouth type situation, and people don't want to understand and comprehend that, but you do. You end up by default having that happen because you've been so long not being able to talk to anybody, having thoughts, having probably dreams, having a lot of downloads in your mind, and having absolutely no way to express it or free it or analyze it. And a lot of times the best ways to analyze information is either to write it down or to talk about it. And that's why this generation is some of the worst analyzers in the world, because people don't like to talk. People don't like to communicate. And, so while we were talking, I mentioned that because while we were talking, she mentioned something. Actually, she asked me a question. She asked me, no, she first mentioned that she said that I feel like you have kind of a masculine energy about you. And if other men, especially powerful men, rich, wealthy men, get that energy off of you, they might quickly lose interest, even if they may have had interest before they recognize that. And then she says to me, why do you have so much what seems to be like defensive energy that's kind of like pinned up, and that you kind of like let go a little bit, even while you're talking to me? And when she said that, I tried to chime in to answer her question and let her know why my energy is like that. But she kept talking. And I said, can I, like cut in for a second? And she was like, no, you cannot cut in, because throughout this whole entire conversation, you have been cutting me off constantly. And I think that is very rude. And da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, wait, huh? In my head, I'm like, how you talking to me right now is very rude, but okay. I'm going to listen, because I have learned to stop rebuttaling people when they get nasty. When they get nasty, let them get how they gonna get. Because a lot of times, 9 out of 10, they're not even nasty like that towards you because it's you. A lot of times that energy is really for someone else. But they don't even want to recognize that that energy is really for someone else. So they take it out on you. I've learned that. So that's why, because I know I've learned that, and I know that a lot of times that's how people are, I'm not going to let you be my emotional punching bag, but I might just let you get off a little steam because I do understand that you might just need to let some ish go. You don't have to let it go on me, but I'll let you slide in that particular instance. So that's the kind of energy I had. I was just like, because at first I was about to respond in the way that I usually respond, which is kind of like matching her energy and it get nasty, or I usually would respond by completely just shutting down, completely just blocking, deleting, and cutting people out of my life. And I've recognized that some people, they might have certain toxic ways and like mentalities and stuff like that, but they still can possibly be beneficial to your upkeep, to your benefit, you know, to your benefit in your life, to your come up. So if they are still beneficial to your come up and they can teach you a thing or two about life and help you out a little here and there, then don't cut them out your life, because that can actually go against you being able to connect with another person that could probably be the type of person that that person would have been for you if you didn't disconnect from them, just from whatever situation. So that's why I analyzed the situation. So basically she did all that yelling, and she did a little bit more yelling. I'm not even going to like really expound on it. Then she hung up the phone on me. So at first I just texted her back and said, "Oh wow, you're gonna yell at me? Wow," something like that. I texted her, and no, I think I said, "Why would you yell at me like that? I wasn't yelling at you, and then you hang up on me. Wow." I think I said something to that effect, and I was like thinking for a while, like, should I call her back? Should I still talk to her? Should I leave her alone? Like, what should I do? Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, what should I do? So I thought about it, and I'm like, with my mature mindset that I have now, and I'm like, I'm not going to cut her off or cut her loose. She didn't do anything that bad. It's just, it was kind of like hurtful for her to be that way, though, because I know I didn't have that kind of energy. Yeah, I can be a little combative, and I can be very defensive if you make me feel like I have to defend myself, but I'm not going to yell at you and scream and holler at you, especially if that's not the kind of energy that you're giving me. And I really do honestly feel like I was not giving her the energy to yell at me. So it was pretty hurtful. So that was part of the reason why I was like definitely thinking about just like leaving her alone. But then I was like, you know what? There's ways that she can benefit me, even though she has a temperamental problem herself, which is kind of ironic when a person has a temperamental problem themselves and then they want to expound to you how your temperament is, complicated or, problematic. But it's like, you don't see your own temperament? Like, what? I don't understand that with people. Like, I really don't get it. Because it's like, how do you see everybody else's flaws and temperament and meanness and nastiness, but when you are acting that way, and sometimes even worse than that, you don't see your own ish? And then people think that just because they can help somebody with some things, that like they got it all figured out. No, darling. Yeah, you might be able to help out with some things, and that's appreciative that you can. But that doesn't mean that you have it all figured out and you have it all together. Don't get it twisted. And the sad part about it is that's the mindset that a lot of people have. They think that just because they can help somebody out with something here and there, that they have it all together. But then their life tells them something different, because they're not happy. They're all in a tizzy. You know what I'm saying? They're depressed, stressed out. And then you're like, but you think you have it all together? Really? Seriously? Just because somebody notice some areas where you do have it together, gave you a little accolades for that. Now you think you have it all figured out. Wow, okay, that's crazy. But that's the kind of people that's in this world. Like, that's the kind of attitudes people have. Like, they really think whatever little bit that they can do is all that's necessary. And they don't realize that the world is supposed to be multifaceted, it's supposed to have multifaceted people in it. Where you don't just stop at one or two things and it's like, oh, okay, that's it, that's all I can provide. Like, no, you need to be able to provide more than that. But anyway, I got a little bit off subject. So, getting back to my girlfriend. So, I decided to think to myself, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and call her back. Because even though she was rude, she wasn't completely horrible. So, let me just see what she says when I call her back. That's what I was thinking to myself. So, I went on ahead and decided to call her back. Called her back. Make a long story short, we finally ended up opening up the portals of communication again that had been shut down before she hung up the phone on me by her not allowing me to speak when I really was trying to get something important off my mind that she actually asked. She actually is the one that asked the question in the first place. I don't know if she recognized that she's the one that asked the question, because a lot of times, like I said, people that don't really talk to people on a regular basis and stuff, they get to talking so fast and so much, they forget like what they be saying and stuff. It's crazy. But we finally opened up the portal of communication properly again. And she finally allowed me to say what I was trying to say the first time before she shut down and got rude with me. And she ended up giving me some tea about myself. And I was like, you know what? That's another reason why I didn't want to shut down on her completely. Because I'm like, I do understand that even though people may not have it all figured out, they may be able to help you with a few things. So you don't have to sit there and agree with that person that just because they have a few ideas together and they have a few things situated and secured where they can help you, don't mean that they have it all figured out forever and they just have answers to everything in life and they just are perfect, because that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? So my advice to you guys as well as to myself is to recognize that people are still daggone human. No matter what they can help you with, they're still human and they still have flaws and they still are just as flawed as you are. So don't allow them to make you feel like you have to give them more respect or more accolades than they actually deserve. And don't you feel like you have to either, just because they seem like they have it more, secure than you. They have it figured out more than you. Because sometimes some people seem like they got it figured out more than you. And then when the closer you get to that person, you recognize and you realize actually they don't got nothing figured out. It's just how it looks. But that's not really how it is. Because sometimes that's the situation. Sometimes you really got to dig below the surface to really find out how something is or how somebody is, because people are so phony and fake. It's sad how phony and fake people are, and it's like, that's why it's so hard to trust people. But it's weird to me how it's a lot of bad people doing bad things in the world, and they always have groups. Like, all of the bad groups in the world always have a crew that is like serious about being supportive and backing up their crew or their group of people. I always notice in that, and I wonder to myself, why is it so easy for bad people to come together and be serious about sticking together, but when it comes time for it to be easy for good people to stick together, it's a problem? Why is that? Why is it always hard for good people to make good connections and be connected forever for over long periods of time. But bad people make connections for us, which seems to be a lifetime. I mean, they connect in prison. They connect everywhere. They connect in prison. They connect on the streets. They connect in the business world. They connect in the secular world, the street world. It doesn't matter where they are. Bad people always find their connects. So what I'm wondering is, why is it so hard for good people to find their connects? And then I think of this situation with me and my girlfriend, and I'm like, maybe that's why. Because when people start to become better people and more good, their tolerance of taking certain crap from certain people gets lower and lower. And you don't really have to take too much crap from somebody that's a bad person, because they're expected to really give you crap because they're bad. But a good person is not expected to give you crap because they're supposed to be good people. So it's just like, it's weird to me how that energy is so heavy to connect when it comes to connections that's like to hurt people, to kill people, to rob people, to do really bad, messed up stuff to folks. But when it comes time for people to come together to just do something in a good, positive name, it don't have to be a church, it don't have to be a religion, because I know that's where people will always try to come to, bringing religion into the circle. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with religion, but it's just way too argumentative, and I'm just not going there. That's just point blank period. I'm just not going there, because you can still be a good person and have good intentions and not be all caught up in religion, because religion can be compromised, but good intentions can never be compromised. That's exactly the reason why I do not push religion too harshly or heavily on my channel, because I already know it's very argumentative type subject, and I'm doing the best that I can to not be argumentative on this channel, but to be more so of a voice of reason, and being able to find results and being able to reach solutions, instead of sitting there just making a bunch of complaints and making a worry word out of yourself, because becoming a worry word has never fixed anybody's life ever, and it's not about to start. So the best thing that you can do is just like stop stressing so much as best as possible. I know it's hard to actually do, it's easier said than done type situation, but it still can be done if you focus on what you're trying to do and stay focused on that. You can actually get your missions accomplished and your goals achieved, and really surprise yourself and mess around and get yourself to a position or a space or a place where you've never been before, and you find yourself like, wow, I remember I used to think I could never even reach this goal, and here I am. And that's what happens when you stay focused. And speaking of staying focused, I'm going to get back on the story with me and my girlfriend. So when I got her back on the phone, we finally got to talking again, and she let me in on some tea about myself. She basically told me how, when I explained to her that the reason why my temperament is the way that it is, and I may be a bit defensive sometimes, and or say a few things that may seem like, why would you say that? It's basically because of the surroundings that I've been raised in, as well as the surroundings that I constantly frequent going outside or interacting with anybody else. I've had to deal with a lot of ignorance, a lot of disrespect, a lot of rudeness, and for no other reason but just because people didn't respect who I was, how I was, and or because people wanted to steal something of mine. If I decided to create something, that person might decide that now they're going to steal my creation. I mean, I've had so many different situations occur like that, and it's gotten to the point where I'm not even surprised anymore when people do stuff like that, because it's happened to me so much. I mean, I hate to even admit that, but it's true. Like, I've had so many people try to take and steal my ideas and, mimic what I'm doing. And it's so funny because literally, no matter how many times these people try to take and mimic my ideas and take my ideas as though that, like, the ideas are theirs, literally, they never pull it off as well as I have. And I do believe they never will, because they're not meant to. Because at the end of the day, first of all, this is not even your idea. And you're stealing from someone else. So, of course, when you're stealing from someone else, it's not going to be blessed, because it's a mess. You stole it. It's a stolen idea. And people that are stealing are never going to be able to get as far as people that are originals. And I recognize that. A person that's an original, they can always think of something else. But somebody that's a thief, they got to find somebody else to take another idea from. That's why I always say be original. Don't be a copycat. Because when you're original, then you really show and prove that you really got it. Okay? You show that you really got it when you're original. But when you're a copycat, all you do is copy off of other people. Like, you're showing that you have no original bone in your body, and therefore you'll never actually be genuinely successful, because no ideas are ever really genuinely going to come from you. They're all going to come from somebody else that you stole it from. So my advice to my truth tribe is don't be a copycat, and don't be a copy. Be an original. Be a person that even if somebody did steal your idea or ideas, you can go right back, put your thinking cap on, and come up with another idea. That's why I don't even really stress too hard about that no more. Now I'm about to get things more secured when it comes to legal wise, because if people get into the habit again of thinking that they could take names and stuff of my businesses and stuff, I got that ish patent now. So go ahead and take it and see what happens. You're going to get sued like a sucker. That's how you got to deal with that. So, you can't patent everything, but as much as I can patent, baby, I'm going to continue to keep patenting things. And my names of my businesses and stuff is the first things that I decided to patent, because I know how badly people like to be thieves. And it's sad, because it's like, dang, like, you can't even come up with your own business name. Like, you can't even come up with your own business ideas. Like, you can't be an original. Don't be a copy. Be an original, y'all. Truth tribe. Y'all know how to be originals. Be originals. Because these copycats, they don't last too long. Because they got to keep copying, and eventually they're going to get caught. Because people going to start catching on to their mojo, like how they moving. When you a copycat, you ain't moving right. People going to catch on to that. That's why I say, Truth Tribe, make sure you make your way of making sure that you are an original babe, okay? Be an original babe. Don't be a copycat babe. That's my advice to you guys. Because originality is everything, child. Everything. Make sure you got your own mind, so that people that don't have their own mind can look even more foolish than they already do, trying to steal from you. Okay. Now, guys, I'm in my first 40 minutes of the video, but I'm almost done, like half the hair already, so I ain't mad at myself, because this hair long. Y'all like how my hair grew overnight? Yeah. You know, I had that black girl magic pop. Anywho, that made my hand slippery, but it's okay. So, guys, how far did I get with the story? I'm sorry, I keep stopping and kind of detouring a little bit. But anywho, what my girlfriend ended up telling me is basically, sorry, let me back up a little bit. Let me tell you what I told her first. Basically, I let her know that the reason why I have a tendency to be a little defensive and or let people know that I'm a little crazy or a bit to handle is because I have been through a lot of situations, and this is true story. I've been through a lot of situations, and if you're already a part of the Truth Tribe, you already know it's a true story. I've been through a lot of situations where either it was near death type situation or it was just scary, and it really put me in a fight or flight mode, and I had to learn how to fight, and I had to learn how to become defensive and protect myself and protect my energy, because if I didn't, I could end up dead, or I could end up seriously hurt, not protecting myself and not letting people know that I was capable of doing so, even though I am a female and I'm a woman. Being from Philadelphia, constantly going through situations and having people like testing my patience, testing my, femaleness. Like, basically, she was trying to tell me that my feminism is not at the height that it should be, because I have a temperament issue where I can get defensive if a person says something that I don't like. But like I said, that all comes from, first of all, how I was raised. I was raised by a single mother we didn't have any male energy in the house besides my brother, who was only 6 years older than me. So I could not look at him as an example for real, especially when we was younger. Other than that, I didn't have any kind of father figure. I didn't have any males around me on a consistent basis that I could look at as a father figure, and who showed me love and respect and looked out for me. So that's part of the reason why I have always felt like I had to be in that fight or flight energy, because that's the energy that my mom had to have to help us to survive. That's the energy she had to have to survive, to stay protected, to stay alive for us. Like, and then it kind of dwindled down to me, where it's like me being in certain circumstances, having certain relationships, being around certain kind of people that would try to use and abuse and or take advantage of me when they notice that I have circumstances in my life where I can use some help or I can use some assistance. They'll try to utilize that against me and land me in a situation where I feel like, man, I need this person when I really don't. They just put me in a position to make me feel like I needed them. And then they turn around and they take advantage. They'll hurt me. They'll disrespect me. They'll have me feeling stuck in a certain situation because I'm doing the best that I can not to keep moving around so much and to get myself more stabilized and stable. They'll know that that's the type of journey that I'm on, and they'll keep trying to press my buttons to make me upset, make me angry, try to make me make moves that I used to make when I wasn't as calm as I am now. And she was like, well, what it seems like, according to what you're saying, what it seems like is that you have allowed people around you just by default, not on purpose, but you have allowed people by default because of your circumstances in your life to basically form your personality and your characteristic traits more than you've allowed yourself to do so. And she said, I know it's not intentional that you did that, but it just happened by default because of you being around people that didn't protect you well, didn't keep things peaceful enough, wasn't able to provide enough. They put you in that space. And you indirectly allowed them to put you in that space because you didn't even know that that's the space they was putting you in the first place. You thought they was taking good care of you because that's what they were supposed to be doing anyway. Until you recognize that that's not what they were doing. So when she let me in on that and basically letting me know that, basically same type of sense of you're a product of your environment, And in other words, the best way that I would have been able to understand what she was saying without her even having to say all of that is if she would have just said, you just need somebody to get you to the point where they take you out of your survival mode. Because when a woman is taken out of her survival mode, she's naturally going to let down her defenses. Naturally. Because she's not in survival mode anymore. She doesn't have to be defensive. If a woman feels like she doesn't have to be defensive, she won't be. But if she's constantly put in a position where she has to be defensive, she has to provide, she has to protect, she has to have that constant protective mode on, or something could happen, come on, you can't blame her for being in that defensive mode. She has to be, or she could really get herself hurt or somebody that she loves. So I just was like, I do understand completely what she was saying, but I really wish that she would have understood that basically all she had to say was, oh, you just need somebody to get you out of your survival mode. Because that literally is all it is. I'm still in survival mode. And I'm not still in survival mode because I want to be in survival mode. I'm still in survival mode because I'm still in the hood. And I'm still around people that can't really help me completely. Because they're having issues, they're having problems, they're having complications as well. So when a person is having issues of their own, the chances of them seriously being able to help you are slim to none because they have their own problems. That's why I try to do the best that I can, and I'm doing the best that I can to continue to, not be around people that have their own problems and have their own issues, especially issues that seem to be more complicated and more frustrating than my own. I gotta stay away from people like that because that's more stress on me that I don't need. And I recognize that you really can help yourself to reduce the stress in your life by just being careful who you have in your life. Like, point blank period. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. By being careful of who you have in your life, you can definitely reduce stress by like half of probably what you're even used to. Because a lot of times we think we're stressing ourselves out, or we have people around us telling us that we're stressing ourselves out. But when we're by ourselves, we are nowhere near as stressed out as we are when we're around these people, which lets us know, if we're smart enough to comprehend, that clearly you're not stressing yourself out, darling. This person is stressing you out. And they're gaslighting you by telling you that you're doing it to yourself. Like, I'm really ready for people to finally start to be honest with themselves and each other as opposed to constantly lying. Like, it's a world full of liars in the world. And then people want to have a nerve to have an attitude because you lie to them. But how many times have they lied to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, people be lying so much left and right. But they got a nerve to be mad at you for lying to them if you finally decide to go ahead and match their energy. There's so many people that I had never lied to. But they keep sitting there trying to tell me they don't believe me. It made me want to lie to you. Because, motherfucker, you sitting there, I've been being honest with you all this time. You sitting there trying to tell me you don't believe me. Okay, well, how about I give you a reason not to believe me now? Since you want to not believe me and I'm not even giving you a reason to feel that way. But that's why it really drives me crazy about the fact that it's so easy for evil people to connect and stay connected and back each other up and all of this, that, and the third. But good people, I don't understand how good people have such a hard time with connecting their forces and becoming more amazing and more wonderful by connecting. I don't understand it. Why is it so hard as a good person to get good connections where you can end up staying with this person for life? You don't have to worry about at any point having to switch up and change up your circle. Because people like to judge you that you change up your circle too much. But here's the thing. I'm not making nobody stay around me that don't want to be, first of all. Or second of all, who is gaslighting me and not really providing what I need, but telling me constantly that they are. I don't need that energy around me. So if I got people around me that's doing that, then I gotta let that shit go. Period. And people always want to judge you. Oh, you know, I actually heard that in a song. I think it's one of Nip's songs. It's not hate on Nip or nothing like that, but I don't necessarily agree with that part where he said, you know, you switch up your homies and you switch up your players on your game too much. And I'm like, a person might say that about me, but I'm trying to find my people. So if it seems like I'm switching up, it's because I'm trying to find my people. Because it's not easy to just find your people in a snap of a finger or anything like that. People these days are raised very messed up. So you have to be careful with people you claiming to be your people. You have to be mindful and careful. And because I know that, sometimes I might have to switch up and change up because I recognize something that I may not have recognized before. Just because I ain't recognized it before don't mean I'm about to keep you around my circle if you ain't right for me. You definitely finna get kicked out because we're not doing that. So got that up. And I need to tighten this. But first, I'm going to spray it up. So that's the last bit of my hair, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the mannequin's hair and style her, and then on to the next one. sorry, y'all. So did I ever finish the story to y'all? I'm so sorry. I am really sucking right now at multitasking and telling y'all a story while I'm doing my hair. But she had ended up letting me know that I have that issue, which I kind of already knew, but her shining light on it did help me to understand even more why I was like that and why I do definitely need someone in my life or some people in my life who understands that I literally need people in my life who can open up the gates to my soft feminine energy era and help me to allow myself, because I haven't been able to allow myself to really become the feminine energy that I know that I can be yet, because I keep having to exercise my masculine energy even being around men. So when you consistently keep having to exercise your masculine energy even being around men, it puts you in a space where you know, because you've had to do it already, that you're going to have to keep doing that unless you get around a man that actually shows you that you don't have to be in that energy. And since I've had so many guys fool me, and I put my fingers up like that because they only fooled me for a limited time only, and the only reason why they was able to fool me was because I really wanted to be with somebody. I really was tired of like being by myself at those moments and stuff like that. So that's the only reason why they was even able to fool me, because I wanted love, I wanted connection, I wanted relationship in some way, shape, or form. Even if it wasn't in the way that they provided it, I still wanted that for myself. And so that is the only thing that allowed them to even be able to take advantage of me, because I was in that space where I really did want that energy. Even though I didn't want it from them, I didn't know that I didn't want it from them because I didn't know that they wasn't going to provide it correctly for me. But at the same time, now I understand, just secure yourself as best as possible, because I'm like, I even explained this to her as well. I'm like, I don't be in relationships because I be like in dire need of being close to somebody, or I really have to be in a relationship. A lot of times I be in relationships because those relationships are helping me to be able to not feel like I have to deal with life constantly, completely all alone, and have to like literally take all these bumps and bruises by myself. That's really one of the major reasons why I have gotten into relationships, as opposed to like feeling like I really need a relationship. I don't have that feeling more than I have. I'm tired of struggling by myself. I'm tired of, doing this alone, and knowing that if I wasn't doing this alone, it would be a little easier. It would be a lot lighter on my psychological space. And I know it also puts me in more of my feminine era also, and my feminine energy, when I'm with a male that does not require me or try to make me feel like I need to pay bills and, take care of things myself. Because even dudes that take care of the bills but sit there and complain the whole route, they not the best people to be with either, because it's annoying. Because it's like, all right, if I wanted somebody to complain the whole right about taking care of the bills, then I would have stayed living with my mama. Okay? For real, for real. Because she did that. She was the queen of that. Complaining the whole time, making me feel so guilty for being a child, because she had to take care of everything by herself. And I understand it wasn't her complaining that she had to do it. It was taking a toll on her. And you could hear in her complaints that it was taking a toll on her body, her mind, her spirit, her energy. She was just getting like drained every day from having children and having to help out people in the world all the time, and not ever really getting the recognition, the respect, the appreciation, none of that. Nobody ever came back and said, thank you, Sister Robinson. You know, thank you for looking out for my kids. Thank you for taking my kids out to dinner with your children, which you did not have to do. Thank you for doing that. Like, people are so ungrateful. You know, I'm like, the older I get, the more I see how ungrateful suckers are. And I say suckers because if you're ungrateful, you are a sucker. Because as evil and as mean and as disrespectful as this world is, for you to be ungrateful and unthankful, and this world is full of people that would never do anything for anybody, and you lucked up to have people do stuff for you, and you want to be ungrateful about it, you got to be a certain kind of stupid. I'm sorry. For real. But getting back to the focus of talking about me and my girlfriend. So we ended up being cool again. She did apologize eventually for coming off to me the way that she was coming off to me, and you know, calm down with her energy and recognize that her energy was actually the one that was more so defensive than way more defensive than mine was. Like my energy is just so tough. Like I'm a tough cookie. I'm a tough girl. So mine's just come off kind of tough. But other than that, like I wasn't yelling at that girl, nothing. So for her to come at me like that, it was like, whoa, sis, you doing a lot, ain't you? I ain't do all that. I just let you know what was going on. Didn't hang up on you, didn't yell at you, none of that. But, you know, everybody has their ways of expressing themselves, but I'm not ever going to give anybody an excuse to express themselves in a toxic manner, including myself. You know, I'm not going to give nobody the excuse to do that, because at the end of the day, if you don't want nobody to, in a toxic way, to handle and deal with you, and by default, literally fumble you because they're not dealing with you correctly, then don't do that to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer in treating people the way you want to be treated. You don't want nobody to do that to you, don't do it to them. It's that simple. Like, really, it really is that simple. But anyway, guys, as you guys can see, the hair is giving. No, I'm not going to curl it because I don't even know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm probably just going to put it right in the ponytail like I did the other day, because even though it's been a little cooler lately, it's still kind of hot. So yeah, because of that, I'm probably just going to put it right back in the ponytail so it don't be all over the place and making me even hotter, okay? And not in a good way. So I'm going to put it in a pony. Put it in a pony. And I'll just lay my edges down later. So me and my girlfriend came to the conclusion that basically she said the best thing that I can do for myself to just ensure that I give myself the opportunity to create the kind of me that I really naturally want to be, as opposed to the kind of me that people have been kind of by default making me be, because I've been feeling like my hand has been forced to act a certain kind of way because of being around those type of people. So basically, what advice she did give to me as a solution to that, which I already was thinking about doing, which I already know is just God aligning me and letting me know that the idea that I already had to do was accurate. Because basically she just told me to do exactly what I've already been planning on doing. She said, don't worry about no relationship with nobody. Don't worry about being with nobody for a while. Secure yourself as much as possible. If you have to start from scratch, I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult because you've gotten so far. But she said, you know, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. If you have to start from scratch, go ahead, start from scratch. And just, you know, do it from experience this time and do a better job at making sure that you get yourself where you actually want to be this time, and not allowing somebody else or other people to conform your personality and your character. She said, you know, basically get to yourself and stay to yourself for a good amount of time to help yourself become the woman that you actually want to be, not that you're making yourself by default become because, you know, you might feel like you don't got much of a choice because this is the people that you're around. Don't keep putting yourself through that. She was like, you know, best thing for you to do is just get yourself out of that type of energy and put yourself in a better energy where you're by yourself, you're making things happen. Go ahead and keep working on what you're doing, improving your circumstances, improving your money, improving your businesses and everything that you're working on. Go ahead and get your license. And she was like, and then by the time you get yourself secure with all of that, then she was like, then somebody probably that's a lot healthier and wiser and not so toxic can actually help you to be able to be in a beautiful relationship and be with somebody and have a good connection that's actually healthy for you and not going to mess you up or have you feeling like you got to be on the defensive again. So I was like, you know what? Thank you for that, because even though I already kind of knew it, she just was like really reminding me that I was right and that I basically was right head on. Like what I thought that I needed to do was actually what I needed to do. Like she just basically let me know that from what she was saying. And I'm like, that's why, you know, I do the best that I can to keep friends around that's like that, because even though she did get on my nerves at first and she made me cry all that, and I usually don't let people stick around me that do that. When you make me cry, usually that be the end of that. That be the end of you and me being cool. But it was something that I recognized that made me feel like, all right, you know, like this might be just a misunderstanding and that's not that big of a deal. So I'm going to treat it as such and see what happens. And I did, and I seen what happened. You know, it really did come off like it was just like a misunderstanding type of situation. And me and my girlfriend was still cool. But I recognize that, you know, everybody have issues though. And I just really honestly wish that instead of people being such harsh judges of others, I wish people were more harsh judges of themselves. And in that way, people would have a lot more respect for what you have to say if they see that you come at yourself just as hard as you come at other people. If I see that a person comes at themselves when they do something foolish or when they do something stupid, and then they turn around and they try to correct me, I would let them correct me. I wouldn't argue that. Unless I feel like their correction is wrong, I would allow them to correct me, because I recognize that, oh, okay, so you don't have a problem with correcting yourself, and you don't allow yourself to do certain foolish, stupid, crazy stuff and give yourself an excuse. So therefore, since you don't give yourself an excuse, I appreciate you not giving me an excuse and correcting me when you see that I'm wrong, because I see that you do the same thing with yourself. So therefore, you're not like giving yourself favorable treatment, meanwhile being so hard on me like so many other people do. Like so many other people naturally, I don't know, like I think it's because of how people have been raised, like by a lot of parents that's like just like that. They don't take no responsibility for none of their behavior, but they judge you so harshly for yours. Like that is heavy in this generation, where nobody wants to take responsibility. Everybody just want to do whatever they want to do and think that there's just going to be no consequences and repercussions, when that's not how things work. Like literally in life, nothing works that way. Like everybody has to, you know, there's going to be consequences and repercussions. Everybody has to like live with that and recognize that. Like everybody. So it's crazy to me. But anyway, I'm going to get back to work, and I've turned this off already. I'm going to unplug it because I don't need it plugged in anymore. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then I'm going to put that up there, and pull this over here, but be careful. And to the screen because we're gonna cut her. Yes, we're gonna cut her. So we're not gonna cut her like crazy or anything like that. We're just gonna like give her a trim and give her like a little bowl dip here. And then style her hair. Probably put like maybe 2 buns up at the top or something like that. So I'm recording.
No, I'll block it.
Anywho, that's what I'm about to be doing to her hair. I'm going to first trim. Just a little bit, not too much. Okay, just a little bowl type trim. Up around the sides into a bowl. Y'all see it? Almost kind of looks like a bob a little bit, but it's not. Let's get this side before he comes out of this one. Hold up. Wait a minute. Go ahead. Alright, y'all. So, I'm about to show y'all the work. Give me a second. Just try to get all these flyaways. Okay. One more area right here. Gotcha. Okay, y'all see it? Nice little bowl cut. Nothing too extreme or extra. Just to take the flimsy little crazy ends off, right? And then we're gonna swing her head back around here and try to clean up some of this hair. And give me a moment. Okay. So I have 2 hair ties. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sketch and scale a little. And basically part the top part of her hair. like a heart. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this up and put this in a bun. Like a Chinese bun type thing. Don't do that. Hear my weight trying to move. Don't be moving. I don't need you moving and grooving. Stay put. Alright, y'all. So there's the one side of her head. And we're gonna do the other side. We're gonna sketch and scale again. Bring your head forward. So we got right above the ear on that side. So we're gonna get right above the ear on this side as well. Bring it up. Back side back. And bring the front forward. Come in here and back. Okay, and then get this perfected heart vibe going. Okay. Alright, y'all, so I gotta do the part in the middle again. Cause that don't look good. Alright, so let me just make that straight in the middle. Okay, hold up. Pull it over here. Okay. Alright, so here's your Chinese bowls in the front hairstyle. And the bowl cut in the back. Now, do I want to put a little cute bang in the front? I do believe that would be feasible. So we're going to take her bun out right here. And we're going to put a little cute, just one side. Okay. Swirly, swirly, pearly. Did I ever name this Manikin Tribe? Do you guys remember? Because to be honest, I don't remember. But I do remember I wanted to name her. But I don't know if I actually have. I be doing so much, guys. Okay. Now we need to curl the front and the back. Curl the just a little bit, because we're just going to flat iron the back, and we're completely finished. And we have done my own hair, just straightening to ensure that my hair is like, looking its best. And then we have done now the mannequin's hair, where we've cut her hair into a style, which we only cut off her ends about 3 to 5 inches from her ends. She has some kind of crappy ends, so we took care of that. And then we also put the hair in a cute style, and now we're bumping the back. We already curled the front and twisted with 2 Chinese twist buns in the front. So now we're going to complete bumping the back to complete the entire look. So guys, if you're already a part of the Truth Tribe, thank you so much for coming back by and watching and being very interested and showing much love and support to the channel. I appreciate you guys very much. If you are not already a part of the Truth Tribe, my dear, what are you waiting for? Like, seriously, what are you waiting for, honey? What are you waiting for? You know you like it. You've watched this far, so, I mean, what's up? Don't be a hater. Be a lover. So guys, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And what? Make sure you become a part of the Truth Tribe, because when you're vibing with Ruth, you're vibing with the truth. So you can never go wrong. Alright? I am not about to bow out of the video just yet, but I will be very soon. And so I figured, let me just let the disclaimer go now and get that out of the way. Right? Right. So, getting back to business. Still curling and pressing our back of her hair out. She getting ready for a date night or something. I don't know what she about to do. But anywho, she finna go out. Okay. Get that hair so popping. She said she not stopping. That's it. Okay. Okay, so we almost finished this back here. It's taking a little time, but we got this. So I've been thinking about how I can produce more footage, more content that you guys would really like and really be into and really watch. And so I'm just going to ask you guys on this particular video, what is another hairstyle that you think would be really cute, that you think that I can do, or you want to know if I can do, that you'd like to see me do? Now, I've already done roller set hairstyle, I've already done straight hairstyles, I've already done curl with the flat irons hairstyle. Now, I haven't done curl with the wine curlers hairstyle. I might do that. I haven't done, this is my first cut, so I haven't done many cut videos, so that's another possible, but I'm probably not going to cut her hair anymore. If I do, I'll probably possibly cut a bang, but other than that, I'm not cutting her hair too much because basically, guys, I went to cosmetology school, and when I went to cosmetology school, they gave us a bunch of different mannequin head dolls, and literally all of my dolls got hacked up because in the curriculum, they literally put in there every last one of the dolls had to have a cut done to them. So because of that, all of my mannequin heads basically had already been like jacked up with cuts. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not good at cuts, because as you can see with this cut looks neat. So I'm not horrible with cuts, but you know, I was in school, so I was just learning. So those cuts, you know, are probably not as good as the cuts that I would do now, which would be a lot better because I am a lot better with everything that I do with hair now, just from practice and learning and practicing on my own hair and other people's hair too, not just practicing on myself. Alright, so this is the last bit. And I'll be out of your hair. Technically out of her hair, but you know. You know. So guys, if basically the roller set that I did, that was a mention from one of my subscribers. Actually, I don't even know if she subscribed, but I hope she did. But yeah, that was a suggestion from one of the people that already watched me. She just suggested, like, you know, why don't you do a roller set hairstyle? And at first she didn't specify to do it on my own natural hair, so I did it on a mannequin head, and she was like, no, I meant on your natural hair. I was like, okay. And I did it on my natural hair too. So she's the one that gave me that idea. So guys, to help you become a part of the Truth Tribe's creation and creative process, give me some ideas of what you guys would like to see me be able to do on my channel, whether it be another hairstyle idea, or a makeup idea, or a clean with me, if you want me to get back rocking and rolling with my cleaning with me videos. If you want me to really like produce a lot more of my yoga dance and or exercising videos, whichever it is, like, let me know in the comment section, guys. Drop them comments. If you really like this video here and you liked, you know, how her hair ended up coming out, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. But let me know in the comments what you liked about it. You know, if you think that you'll be able to do this to your own hair or maybe somebody else's. Do you think that you learned something from watching this specific tutorial? Because this is kind of like a tutorial more than anything. So if you would like to see more footage like this, Let me know. Talk to me, guys. Let me know what's up. Because I like to hear from you, honey. Yes. I like to hear from you. Because, honey, you the one. You the one that's important. All right. All right, honey. Believe that. Ooh, y'all, I just hit my stomach with the flat iron, so I'm tripping. I shouldn't be doing this without my apron on, but it's cool. I didn't hurt myself, thank God. Thank you, Lord. Okay, 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 okay. Last bit. Last section. Last section. Dun, 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 dun. Alright. There we have it. She is all done up, child. She ready for her date. You ready for your date, girl? I'm ready, boo. I'm ready, girl. We going out tonight. Alright, ladies and gents. Here you have it. Voila! So we have 2 cute curls in the front. Not too much. Okay. Then we have the little Asian buns in the front. And then we turn her around in the back and she curled real tight and right. Take a look at that, you know. Nice little bowl cut in the back. There she is. And here I am with my straightness. We're all done. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.